Hello. We are live and stuff and hanging out and doing the thing. What's up? Oh, Ryan just went away. I don't know why Ryan went away.
Ryan will be here shortly.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He's having Discord problems.
I see him. I see him. I'm just gonna talk like oh no, I forgot her name. The chick from Chef, that's his wife. What's her name?
I don't know. Sofia
Vergara.
Varga?
Vergara. I need him. I miss him.
Caleb, he's talking. Can you not hear him?
No. Is he in
You can probably hear me now.
Yeah, were you in cast?
I wasn't in Castle just now.
Ooh, that's it. We're in cast now though. You've got it with Mark Gregg Sputini. What?
No, Sputnik.
Oh, at the end of it's cut off. What's Mark Gregg Sputnik?
Michael Scott didn't want to put MGS in the sidewalk.
Because it might be Mark Gregg Sputnik. Yeah, stupid. I love it. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing okay.
We live?
We're live. Yeah, we're live.
Oh,
We're live.
Hey, everybody.
About
Hey.
5 seconds before you disconnected.
Zing is in the chat hanging out. Ben is hosting. We are live. Yeah, we went live and I went, "What's up, everyone?" And he went, "Whoop." I was like, "Oh, Brian left."
And I'm out.
Yeah, that's how much he likes us. How's everybody's holiday, man? It's the first time we've recorded since been the first time we've recorded in a minute.
Yeah.
It
The
was
holiday,
great.
while mostly good, I'm glad it's gone.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was
ready to get to work.
There were moments of the holiday season where I was like, man, like, it's better, but like, it was better than I expected is what I meant by better. That was what my brain was saying though. Like, hey dude, it's better though. You thought it was gonna be worse. But still, like, yeah, I'm on Ben's side with this. Like, yep, we're past it, we're through it. We have pushed through the
part, and I forced myself to, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
But it's gone now. I'm gonna take the tree down tomorrow, and get back on with my life.
Oh man, we took the tree down last weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, we took the tree down 4 days after Christmas. Man, that was like, done, let's go. And I was like, all right.
We almost did it today, and then we didn't.
Mine will be up through
Riveting
January.
storytelling from Ben.
That is my speciality.
Ryan, you said yours would be up till when?
Through January, probably. I think her mom used to take theirs down after, like, was it the 15th or the 13th or something?
15th.
Like
I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, my mom
So-
takes it down the 15th because that's when the wise men arrived at Jesus. Is correct. Yes.
And of course, Jerusalem's full of pine trees.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so they didn't cut the pine trees down until they had to make room for the wise men.
Yeah.
They turned the pine tree stumps into chairs.
I wonder if any smart-ass Christians out there put up a palm tree.
Are there palm trees in Jerusalem?
There's mostly that's
Put up some sage root.
What kind of trees are in
Jerusalem.
Is that
What?
Israel?
What trees are best?
Okay, yeah, there's a form of palm, but they have other things too. Things I can't pronounce.
Try. Do it.
Quercus cassifera.
Okay. Never mind. Never mind.
They have a
One more?
acacia.
One more time?
Acacia.
They have focaccia bread that grows on trees.
Juniper and lemon. So that's cool.
Juniper's dope. Don't read the children's fable, The Juniper Tree. It's fucking messed up.
That sounds like I want to read it now.
Yeah, no, you need to read it. It's fucking messed up, though.
When I say don't, I mean do.
Yes,
We
when
might
I said
do the podcast tonight.
don't do as I say or as I do. Ryan, how was your holiday? We didn't get to hear you say what you thought. We just heard when your tree was coming down. How's your holiday?
It was going really, really, really well, and I got a lot of things that I wanted for Christmas, and then I went to put said things together, and Caleb's not doing that entirely correctly, but he's working on it. He's trying to do the tornado water bottle trick,
I tried to get it to tornado and it wouldn't.
and it didn't happen. So yeah, it was going really well until I decided to open my new chair. And
Oh, it was while you were opening your chair.
I had to slice my thumb open. So one of those audio visuals over here, I'm in a giant cast.
Can you give us an audio bit? What did it sound like?
It didn't sound like any of that. Happened and
Humans aren't that juicy.
yeah, it's
That's certainly not Ryan.
like I cut open a bag of Fritos. I'm like, ugh.
Are your Fritos generally wet?
Yes, dude.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yes,
So,
dude.
yeah, it was going super good, and then Saturday, which was the last Christmas day that I was gonna have with family, and I sliced it open and ended up showing up super late for Christmas. After they put 3 stitches in a tendon that got cut in half, and 7 stitches in my hand.
Man,
Sounds like a Christmas to me.
that's so cool.
Dude, it was actually pretty gnarly, like them showing me how it all worked. Like I was like, dude, this is sweet.
So if we hold this flap back, this is where the mechanism that makes your thumb works.
Yeah, they bent my thumb back a little further, and my tendon popped into view, and I was like, ooh, fancy. And then the whole time
Feast.
the whole time they were stitching me up, I could just picture what they were doing, and I was nauseous the whole time.
Yeah, you were like, oh, dope. I want to see it. And then you were like, wait, they're touching it. No.
Yeah, I could feel the rubber band tugging in my arm and everything while they were pulling it back together. It was not fun.
That's neat.
It was neat.
I can
It was
feel
very
my
cool.
liver.
But well, the first thing is I went to like the emergency clinic first before I went to the hospital because I was like, because I don't know what I did.
Yeah, you thought they might have a staple gun that would fit your thumb?
I just could have, cut my, the skin or whatever. And they were like, well, we're not sure if the tendon's messed up or not. And then I went to the hospital and they're like, yeah, it's not there. I was like, so did the clinic not know what a tendon is supposed to be? I was like, I don't.
Is this a tendon or a bone? I'm so confused.
Yeah, the tendon's not there from what they told, from what the hospital said. And the clinic was like, we're not sure if it's damaged or not. And it's like, well, it's not in view. Therefore, it's pretty fucking damaged.
Wow.
So
Dope, dude.
it was like 6 hours of my day.
Sounds like you had a bloody good Christmas.
Yeah.
A bloody good Christmas.
Yeah.
Nice. Christmas. Nice. All right. Well, I'm glad that we got through our holidays, as fun or not fun as they may have been.
They're gone. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Good chance to review that adaptive controller.
Yes. Play Call of Duty with a single big button, please. I want to know what that's like.
I'm playing the claw, so I've got it figured out though. I can still play Rocket League.
Sure.
I haven't tried any other games yet.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty.
I knew
I
it.
pressed myself a pretty good amount on Rocket League. So
I freaking knew it.
this fucking guy.
This fucking guy. Oop.
Why is it this fucking guy?
Oh, I don't know.
This guy's always late. Always late.
I saw his Twitch pop up live, and I was like, "You better not be playing Borderlands."
No, after this, yes, but not during. I told you guys I was going to be here tonight.
No, after this, we're playing Call of Duty, my friend. I haven't played Call of Duty with you in like a week, and it makes me sad.
Okay.
It should be shared. I also now have Borderlands. By the way.
Yes, and we played the other day. So if you want to start over, I guess I could be game for that. I guess I could be game for that.
I've got like a 6 flak and like a 3 Mo's and a 28 Amara. So I'm to the point now where I'm starting to get the other characters leveled up. So.
I remember like a nice round number. I remember like a 5 or a 10. I'm somewhere in there.
Yeah.
You're like 8.
Well, with co-opetition, it doesn't really matter now. So
all right, that's right.
You guys could technically hop in my Zane game, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I did that once. I joined a group of people that were at level 30, and they were moving so fast because they'd gotten so used to the game that I was like, this sucks.
Yep.
And then I didn't play until Ben asked me to, like last week.
Yeah, so Drago actually got his flak. We ended up having to spend an entire night one night running through the story for him because he got his flak to level like 30 to 50 in my game running Mayhem 3, Mayhem 4.
Nice.
Just farming runs.
Oops. My character is now level 30. I don't know what to
How long
do.
does it take to get beginning to end? Just slam
The campaign is all I can say, Ben, is don't do side missions. Just run campaign.
Okay, so run straight campaign. How long do you think that would take?
It's easy 25 hours.
No, okay.
I mean,
Wow.
it is a good long campaign.
Hefty gal.
Yeah, and then when you switch to, and this is not the Borderlands podcast, but
No, it's not. We still have to do that.
yeah, when you switch to True Vault Hunter mode, that's when you go back through and do all your side quests and you're full clear.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Then that'll get you to level 50 super quick. So, but we can talk about it later.
No, well, we're just recounting our Christmas escapades, holiday escapades, I guess, over the last week and a half since we have not been on the air. So if you would like to regale us with stories of the Glass household, how were your holidays? The House of Glass, I could have just fucking said.
The Santa was very kind to the children, as he always is. Santa also started putting together a desk at 1 a.m. That had
yourself?
no, I did not.
Oh, damn.
But
No friends here.
the a lot of pieces. That's all we're gonna say. A lot of pieces.
A lot of PCs.
And that wrapped up at about 4. It was, and you can't. And at that time, because of the way our house is set up, you can't use power tools. So you have to put all those pieces together with a manual screwdriver,
Fun.
which makes it even. I felt.
Oh yeah, so you had like severe wrist pain afterwards.
It was a Dutch Pennsylvania Christmas. That's all we're gonna say when it came to the tools that were allowed to be used. Then no, my wrists and hands actually hurt from playing the Switch because the controllers are so different.
Yeah.
And using the little, like I ended up playing Christmas night when everybody fell asleep. I played Marvel until like 5 a.m. So I ended up passing out at like 10, and I drained the whole battery playing until 5 a.m. And I got up the next day because I was playing it in handheld mode just in the bed, and I was like, "What's happening to my hands right now?"
I really have to pee, but I can't. It won't work. Can't move my hands.
Yeah. Other than that, it was good. Father-in-law is starting to stabilize and come out. He's still in the hospital, but that's gonna be a long road when you have colitis. If you guys don't know what that is when one of your intestines basically just explodes inside of your abdominal cavity.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, it's been rough. So thoughts, good vibes for him.
Yes.
But yeah, he's starting to. They're going to move him to a rehab facility where he has to be for an undetermined amount of time. Because he has no abs anymore. They had to slice. They cut right through the abdominal wall, right where his transverse connects to the oblique, and it's just there's nothing there.
This episode of Bounty Board brought to you by Grey's Anatomy.
All right.
Yeah, it's back. It's just. Yeah, I mean it's all back. It's just
No, Ben, they cut it and just went, you don't get this back, motherfucker.
They went like this with 2 guillotines and just cut the middle of his body right out, and then just stitched his hips to his rib cage.
Yeah.
We're gonna take it out.
What the fuck?
Borderlands character, actually.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It was Eric's suggestion. He was like, so look at this character. You just do this. So, yeah, down to a 3-pack is what I was thinking. They cut off the 3 on the right side. And so now he just has a 3-pack over here and a nothing on the right.
Totally.
All right. Anyway, enough of the hospital drama. Dude, it's a new decade, y'all.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, boys.
That's fucking bananas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone listening.
Can we just get a thumbs up, everybody around the phone? Oh, damn it.
Got him.
Shitty. I was like, why is he doing this? And then I got it.
You missed it already.
Oh, I did it? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
already.
Can I just get a thumbs up? He was like, let me see it.
Let me see it.
Yeah, dude. I thought
There you
we
go.
could okay, so this episode we wanted to sit down and talk about our favorite games of the decade. And then in my pitch, I said pick 3, and then Ben updated the document with like 10. So he understood my rules completely. But
3.
Okay, yes, this is true. But before that, I've seen this trend on Twitter, and I do plan to do it on myself on Twitter. But I thought it'd be interesting if each of us could give our 2010s rap sheet. What did you guys accomplish in the last 10 years in a tweet length little byline? To give context, I'll start, right? I'll give mine. So, graduated high school in 2010. Fuck you, Eric.
Wow.
God, I wish Ben and I could say that.
I mean, I think everybody
Oh,
Graduated high school in 2010. Graduated college in 2014. Moved to my own apartment in 2014. Got married in 2015. Got a dog in 2015. Had a kid in 2016. Bought a house in 2019. Started this podcast with Eric in 2018 as well, and we've been doing it ever since. Been to Comic-Con once. Been to Chicago for met the people who made Halo, and that was fucking dope. And
You bought a brand new car for the first time too.
Been to Comic-Con more than once.
oh shit, yeah, the first one was in 2012. Fuck. I've been to Comic-Con twice, going a third time this year. I bought a car. And I got tattoos. I've got 4 tattoos now. 1, 2, 3,
Mention his baby.
4, 5. Yeah, I said I had a
He
kid.
mentioned,
he
I
said
said I had a kid.
Okay.
Fuck you, bud. I'm not that big a piece of shit.
Tattoos, some video games, and a kid, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the mini human. What is that thing? Yeah.
kids, they're only
The subhumanoid that I have.
That's not what you meant to say.
Nope, it's not.
Yeah,
but that's what I said. So we're moving on.
definitely not that. Who's next? Go.
Not I.
We'll go by age. So
I'll go.
Age in ascending order.
Yeah,
Okay,
we went-
got it.
Yeah.
so we
fuck,
went
no,
12,
Ryan, are you older or younger than me?
12, 27. No, I'm younger than you.
Damn it, we did it in the wrong order. Anyway, Ryan, you
Well,
go.
you're 12, so I mean, we're doing fine. So.
Jesus.
Yes.
Ready? This is how I feel about
You
this.
graduated high school when you were 2. So that's good.
I'm a fucking genius.
So graduated high school in 2010. Moved out on my own 2010. Let's see.
Moved out or kicked out?
Moved into my parents' place, actually.
Moved into Caleb's parents' house.
Ooh, that was when we discovered Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Yeah, that's when we found Bad Company 2.
Ugh,
That means the highlight of both of your decades, which you neither
Let's
you mentioned.
that's how we met you too, asshole.
Meeting me.
I'm sorry, met Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Much
so
better.
I moved out in 2010. I bought my first project car. Like, so this is my kind of stuff for my rap sheet. Bought my first project car in 2014. It's the '83 Mustang. I bought my first motorcycle in 2015.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, it was 14. I was still living with my
14
grandparents.
because it was a 2013, or yeah, it was a 13 motorcycle.
Yeah.
Bought brand
You
new.
came down and hung out with us, and we all rode to a place, and you couldn't. And then you came down the next week and bought a motorcycle.
Yep. Instant. So yeah, bought a motorcycle in 2014. Got married in 2017. Bought a house in 2017. Bought my first car, my first brand new car in 2017. Had a kid in 2019. And cut my finger in 2019.
Correction, you didn't cut a finger, you cut your thumb.
It's a phalange. All right,
Perfect.
and you two find it out for the next stage.
Who was born first?
Father time? I don't know.
I was born in. Wait, he was born first? That would be me, 1980.
Yeah. I was 81.
I didn't know Ben was the oldest on this podcast.
Yeah.
This makes me happy. Eric, you're next then.
So Eric goes first then. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've talked about that before. Yeah, because I turn. Ben is.
There's a reason I act like the old grumpy fuck. Cause
Yeah. I can't take that away from him. And I look like I'm 10. I mean, let's be honest. If I shaved tonight, I would not. I would have gotten carded by a
Shaved
beard.
what?
Oh, is that something? Oh, I thought it was like penciled in, dude.
Ben's new
I did.
gamer tag needs to be General Griefus.
I'm laughing at Ben's face, not the joke.
Nah, no, I figured.
Anyway, okay, so
I was pulling my hood up to hide my face as I said it.
Rephus.
There it is. Yep. I had 2 kids this decade. Almost had 3.
Overachiever?
Forbes did not. He decided to.
Overachiever.
Yeah, he decided to say nope. You got to repay all your deductible right at the beginning of the year. Have me. So that's fine. Everything is good. It's awesome. 2010 was the first one. 2014 was the yes. 2014. Think about that for a second. 2014 was the second. We moved. We upgraded our house. We went from our first, marriage starter house to the house we're in now. Let's see what else we do. Switch jobs. Nope. Yeah. No. Switch jobs.
Yep.
And to a work from home position. Started streaming. Built the house of glass to what it is now. Pretty proud of that. Learned After Effects.
That's not a bad thing on the list.
Sure.
Yeah, learned After Effects. Outside the watched my daughter's first communion, which was a pretty awesome experience, and then watched Psy. It is. Then watched Psy get into sports, and now I'm watching them both. I'm looking forward to the next decade, watching them both take over video games in the way that they are. Ella on the coding and design front, and then Psy becoming the next Booga. Because that kid...
Oh, all right.
I don't know what that means.
Booga's the 15-year-old that won the Fortnite World Cup.
He's already beaten Luigi's Mansion by
He?
himself. 5. No help from me.
That's awesome.
Crushed that game.
I can't wait to get Charlie playing games, man.
And now he's on to Super Mario Odyssey, and he's crushing that. And what's the other? He really likes Mario Kart. He hasn't quite figured that one out. The new Mario Kart, by the way, is brutal. It's not the Mario Kart I remember from days of yore. This Mario Kart, the AI is
savage.
I feel like I'm playing Legendary on Halo at times, where I'm just getting crushed.
Racing, as it's known, is now an industrial strength, like freight train graded rubber band.
Yeah,
first, and in the last 100 feet, you're in last.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I just got hit by a bullet. There's a red shell. Here's a dude with the star, lightning bolt. How did I hit a banana peel? There's no banana peels in front of me.
We guys, we need to all go down to Texas and hang out with the Mister of Glass, and we need to play Don't Drink and Drive together.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yes,
that could be.
Have you played Don't Drink and Drive playing Mario Kart?
No,
yeah,
because I have a pregnant wife and 2 underages in the house, so.
So you need to come up here, which means it will never happen because you have a kid coming soon. We'll see you next decade.
I did though. So we're getting induced on the 13th. So if Forbes does not come next week, we found that out last week. We had a little bit of a scare last week. We thought Melissa's bile acids were a little high, and we're not going to take it there. I'll tell you guys about this after.
Yep.
But so with that said, if he comes the 13th, I do have the clearance to go to PAX South on that Saturday. So Drago and I are going to go. PAX South is the 19th.
Right.
So Drago and I, if you guys don't know him, Maximus Max, he's my neighbor. Lives studios down. So we're going to get up early on that Saturday, drive down, hang out at PAX, try and capture some interviews and footage that we can put on the website.
Dope.
Melissa was like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. You and Matt go have a blast every weekend if you want to. I'm like,
nice.
I'm like, all right.
Quick, leave the room.
That was the Home Alone 1 and 2 things.
Yeah.
You got the sound effect. All right, Ben, you're up.
Ben, rap sheet.
Oh boy. 10 years ago, some wise ass put the thought in my head to be an artist. So
You're welcome.
I got fired from a job, and rather than just getting a new job, I took out some unemployment and tried to be an artist. That didn't work, so I tried school. So and tried living out of a backpack for a year. So it's actually making me short of breath. Wow, this is weird. So I put everything I could into a backpack, moved to San Francisco, ran out of money, moved to Los Angeles with some friends. So yeah, I had one semester of school. That was fun. Moved to LA, met a bunch of really cool people in LA. Ran out of money there, and then moved in with my cousin in Colorado for a winter. Did some skiing, and then came home at that point, moved back in with the parents with my grandparents. So it was like this big, huge, like Sawyer commune thing. And then that's where the art really actually, coincidentally or whatever, took off. That's where I got like 30 commissions over one holiday season. So I moved out quickly thereafter, got an apartment, just bounced from house to house with some friends. Career kept growing. Me and Caleb went to Comic Con. It was a long decade of hawking my art and doing commissions and trying to get published. About the same time as Caleb and Ryan got motorcycles, I did too. Foolishly tried to start a motorcycle company. That didn't work. Which was a slash like apparel company with my friend. Let me think. So Comic Con a few more times. Conventions all across the country a few more times. Been with the same girl this whole time, by the way. And we got a house. We're renting still, but we got a house 3 years ago with 2 dogs at the same time. And then this year I finally got. Well, I was published in '06. No, I wasn't. No, it wasn't '06. Probably 2016 as a colorist. But now I'm published as a solo artist as of 2019.
Fuck yeah.
That's
That's awesome.
That was a 10-year climb, and some dumbass this week put me on my head and made me rethink everything. And then today I'm like, no, I'm just gonna keep making comics. So I'll talk more about that later. But yeah. So when Caleb asked like, "How's your week been?" I'm like, oh, so I have this thing I coined. I have this term I coined, existential crisis.
I like that.
You also coined overachiever earlier,
Yeah, that's
and
right. Yeah,
that's also very good.
thank you.
Do we need?
yeah.
Do we need? Who put doubt in your brain? Does this kid need a visit?
I'm not going to name names because he's a pretty active fan of mine.
Okay.
But
You send him Papa Glass's way if we need to,
He's not a fan of mine. So.
slap him around a bit. For putting
He's
doubt
not
in your
my
head.
fan, so
he seeded some doubt, and I went through some like dark spiral of what the fuck do I do now, and then
No.
I picked up one of my own books, and I was like, wait, this actually looks kind of good.
No.
actually,
I'm just gonna keep doing this.
yeah, fuck yeah.
Good call.
I'm gonna do it like bigger, harder, faster, stronger, but
Gross.
yeah, no, Daft Punk, but
Yes.
so yeah, so it was a pretty fucking wild decade.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah, dude.
wild. Really,
Yeah, you won the Wild Decade card there. I had no idea I knew the Colorado. I didn't know the San Francisco and LA tours.
Yep.
Were a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it was
That's awesome though.
tumultuous.
Yep.
Jeez.
But yeah, anytime there's doubt or spirals, ask Caleb. Give Papa Glass a call. We'll
Yeah.
pump you up.
Yeah,
We will-
I've said like a few words that were like just barely queuing for him, and I got phone calls before I could finish my next text, and he's like, "Let's talk." Oh, all right, dude.
Yep, I got you.
Let's do it.
Let's go. I'm the super hype man because there's some talent. There's some talent on this side of the screen, or these 3 of them. The thumb cutting talent. We haven't figured if that's a thing yet. We'll get.
I have a scar on mine.
Hey, I know right where the tendon is.
Look, here, look.
I got a scar on this thumb from a pair of scissors.
I'll make you feel better. You ready, Ryan?
Yeah.
No.
When I was 16, I got really pissed off at my mom and dad for doing something. So I decided to go in and you're not gonna be able to see this on camera. I decided to go in my room, and my reaction to this was I was like, oh, for some reason I had like 5 packs of chopsticks there. So I sharpened them all down, and I was shooting them out of my slingshot. And it was one of those real good slingshots, right? So the wrist guard and everything, but I didn't have the wrist guard on. And so on the last one, I got really brave. pull it back to about here.
Brave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let it go. I was like, fuck, where did it go? And then all of a sudden I look at my hand. Went in here, came out here to about that far.
Nice.
A chopstick. So I pull it out and I'm looking at
What
the
an
scar
idiot.
on this side. Right. I'm just like, fuck. And I'm like, oh God, it's bleeding really bad. Well, I hear this. It had gone right through the vein on the top of my hand right here. So it was just Spider-Man launching.
On there?
Spider-Man launching right at the top, like all over the wall. So it looked like a sprinkler. And so I walk into there, I was like, Mom, I don't know what I did. And it's just
I don't know what I did.
and at that point I had lost a fair amount of blood. So I just sat down. I was like, I think I gotta go to
Stigmata or something.
I gotta go to the
I
hospital.
prayed too hard.
Yeah. So I didn't do that. I knew exactly what I did. And she just looked at me and goes, "You fucking idiot." And I go, "Yep." And
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah. What I feel like it was on this podcast last week or last time we recorded where I recounted the story of I've heard many times of Ben shooting Andy in the head with a BB gun.
Yep. That was
My older brother.
Yeah.
that was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I told that story. That we've had the last
From
couple
too. From
from the hip and over a hill, right?
I'm gonna guess at least 50 yards.
Ben's like, dude, my hip fire aim on point.
Between the eyes.
Did Morgan Freeman and/or Angelina Jolie visit you after that shot and want you to join a secret brotherhood of assassins? No.
I can curve boobies.
What? they're squishy. They're made to be curved.
Not babies.
Huh?
BBs.
I thought you said. Did you say not babies?
Yeah.
I thought you said boobies. Babies aren't.
No, he said BB. Oh my god.
I thought you said boobies, and you thought me describing squishy boobs was describing
Babies.
flexible babies.
Ladies and gentlemen, New Year, same bounty board.
Oh my god! Not babies.
Last time Tech Supreme and I went out to eat with a bunch of friends, one of our mutual friends said babies are malleable, and Tech and I couldn't stop laughing about people just dropping their babies and them just babies just getting up and walking away.
It was Lewis Black went on a huge rant in his first stand-up
my
album
God.
about how babies are malleable. Fuck it, they're malleable. They'll bounce.
Yeah, it was about people not fleeing hurricanes.
Yes.
As your babies are fine. Fuck it, they're malleable. They'll bounce. Yeah. That's the common line. It's not. What was the line about? It's not that the wind is blowing. It's what the wind is blowing.
Yep, exactly.
That might have been Ron White, but anyway.
Oh man.
That is Ron White.
About
Oh,
the same.
all right.
Well, talking personal knocked the wind out of me twice. Let's get on topic.
Yeah, no. So, all of those things said, congrats to everybody for all their achievements and good luck on all of your current endeavors and all that good stuff. We wanted to talk about our 3 favorite games of the decade, which is a lot like it's hard, dude. I thought about it all fucking week.
It's like choosing our super. It's like forcing me to choose a superpower. I don't think I can
Or
do
a
it.
favorite kid. I only have one, so it's easy for me, but
That's easy. Myself.
That one.
me.
The one I had.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, so 2010 was in the peak, in the height of the 360 and PS3, and I guess the Wii.
Yeah.
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 And then in
Awesome.
the 10s we've seen the 360, the PS3, the Wii, followed by the PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, and the Switch. PC's always been in the background, but we've seen the dawn of ray tracing and all sorts of crazy. And VR has made a resurgence. Oh my God, VR made a resurgence in the last decade.
Back for good this time.
Yeah, and it's
No,
sticking
it's
around.
not going anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
sticking around. We've seen the rise and fall of the 3D film, and
Blu-ray got Pat HD DVD.
70 millimeter is no longer the standard
Yep.
film that
we
is
had
used in movies.
We had a format war, much like VHS versus Beta.
You sure did.
HD DVD.
Mm-hmm.
RIP.
And Blu-ray.
No Blu-ray. Well, I think that's a separate topic, but I always say I think Blu-ray came out at an unfortunate time, and nobody expected streaming services to take off the way that they did. Not a single industry analyst, if you look back at the reports and stuff like that, predicted that Netflix streaming would have the impact that it did, and they all ate crow.
It's actually quite reminiscent of the game streaming conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, internet's not that good. It won't be that good.
All I could say is with the Nighthawk router, fucking xCloud is unbelievably good. I sit on my shitty ass Amazon Fire tablet on days that I don't play in the bedroom if Melissa's watching one of the Real Housewives, and I can put on headphones and not have to watch it anymore.
Sounds like a win-win situation.
I'm playing Bloodstained, which is a game that requires a lot of precision, and it is silky smooth.
Nice.
I don't know how Microsoft is doing it, and I've streamed even console on my local network, stream Borderlands 3 in the bedroom on the tablet, and it's fucking great.
So how do we want to do this? Do we want to go through each person and have them go through all three, or do we want to do 3 rounds of one each? I personally vote for 3 rounds of one each, so we don't have to monologue.
We can all discuss.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can talk about the experience.
And then we'll wrap up if we have time for runner-ups. I think all the things I mentioned are definitely worth mentioning for me.
All right.
Well, I don't know if anybody else here made a list.
I'm trying to think back over the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's tough.
Look at the paper. It's
I don't think much.
it's an interesting one.
Says the guy who cut through a tendon in his thumb.
Perhaps that's
why
you can't hitchhike anymore.
Thinking portion though.
Well, you didn't think about dropping it on your thumb.
I didn't
What?
drop
And if
it.
you had, you wouldn't have.
Move your head one direction. I want to see what chair you cut yourself for. Nice.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it.
So I almost ended my gaming career trying to put together something
gaming
to help
chair.
my gaming career.
Nice.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is irony.
Yes.
Ironing?
Irony.
Yep. All right. So
Yeah, so, yeah, who wants to go first?
Caleb.
All right.
Kick us off.
The first thing that came to mind for me was Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 was the high point in the series, I think is an easy statement. And I'm not going to wow many people or throw many people off saying that. But something about that, it was early enough in my I'm taking games seriously phase that it may be the thing that started it. It may have been the game that I played and was like, oh, fuck. Because I remember being a freshman in college playing that game like 6 months late.
you were a full Halo head by the time Mass Effect happened.
Yeah, but Mass Effect did something different than Halo. You're right. I was very into Halo. I had all the books. I was already touting myself as the Halo lore nerd. But Mass Effect was like, oh, fuck, these stories, I can impact them. And I think that was when I was...
When a character died, you felt it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And, I think that was when I was like, yeah, I want to write about these. Maybe write for them. And that was right when I was deciding, that I wanted to major in English. And eventually ended up doing that. And, Mass Effect 2 was just... it's so good. It's so good. And I think one of the reasons I think it's one of the best games of the decade is because since then, you can see its influence throughout the industry. You can see other games with stories that have interactive plots. You can see them taking bits and pieces from the Mass Effect formula. You can see fellow quests show up in Fallout and in Outer Worlds and games like that, where you have to do quests for your companions to get their trust and things like that. I just think that game made a lot of waves for the single player RPG space.
And that mentions the crossover save thing.
Yeah, it might have been first.
And they even let you say what decisions you made in the first game impacted the second.
Yeah, they gave you a motion comic if you didn't play the first game.
And I thought
Drive Caden or Ashley and stuff like that.
Yep.
I thought that was great.
Did you kill or not Rex?
And then all of that directly influenced Mass Effect 3, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, and all those decisions continued.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the
I'll
3rd game.
save us all some time and say that while it might not be the first, it was definitely one of the highest games on my list. Mass Effect 2 is definitely on one of my top games for sure.
I don't think it's my top. I have two surprising ones for my other two that I have very strong arguments for me, but I don't know if that. It'll be interesting when we get to those. Eric, Ryan, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Cool.
So
There was I saw the rear back like this, and so I was like, all right,
Snake, right.
he's ready to strike.
Okay.
He's ready to strike.
I'm gonna have to say Battlefield Bad Company 2 is my top probably. My
Oh
top.
wow. Okay, that's your game of the decade.
Yeah, just because of like the people it brought me to being around all the time and playing games with, and like the multiplayer aspect of it all, like, and the experience of me and Caleb finding it at the same time, and
Dude.
like literally playing like the whole summer.
Yeah, I'd come back from like breaks at school when you were living with my parents,
Yeah,
and we'd just sit there and play for.
we played for like 2 months straight, just
Yeah.
nothing but Bad Company 2, just switching controllers. Like,
Man,
just,
do you remember playing with
play around,
Eric
I'll
and?
play around. You play around, I'll play around. Like, that's how it was.
It was
Like,
me, you, Eric, and Saint Mark. We used to be the
Yep.
most lethal fucking
Oh god, it was so good.
strike team, dude. Like we would go to rooftops. Ryan and I would be clearing a house and head to the roof, and a body would drop, and Eric would be like, "You're good," and we'd be
Yep,
like, "Let's
you're
keep
good.
going." Like it was so
Go
good,
ahead.
dude.
It was so good.
It just opened up like the gaming experience for me more. Like that, I had never played games as much as I did when that came out. Like Call of Duty, I played that and all that stuff, but like I think Battlefield really changed the tide for me whenever.
Sure.
You know, so I've got friends for life because of that game, instead of just
Sure.
people saying that they know my mother. So
Yes. Yes.
I had somebody get banned last night in my stream because they were talking about my mom.
nice.
Skiwi finally got tired of him. He's like, "You're unoriginal. I'm just banning you."
Yeah. It's not creative, homie.
It
Good
was
job.
awesome.
Everybody knows my mom, and everybody says that.
Mhm.
You're out of here.
Yeah.
Everybody, that was his 5th joke too. We just kept letting him go.
His 5th mom joke.
Kept letting him go, and then Skiwi finally just
So-
said, "Fuck it, you're done."
So unoriginal.
You're
Shame on you.
out of here.
Get out of here.
Oh,
My
Eric, you're
turn?
up. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna have to say the first one for me is gonna be Borderlands 2. I think that solidified what the loot genre game could be. As someone who had 1,000+ hours in the second Borderlands and is gonna probably have even more in the third. It's just the gameplay loop and the constant running and gunning and getting, you may get the same gun 5 different times. I was looking at my vault last night in Borderlands 3, and I've got 7 of the same guns that all have different situational or different builds or different classes that they need to be run on. And I think that was the first thing where I really looked at and said, wow, this is my genre, right? Is this looter shooter Diablo-esque thing. And I played the shit out of the first Diablo.
That's gotta be on. That's gonna be on your list too, isn't it?
It's gotta be.
No,
Diablo
actually,
3?
Diablo 3 is not on the
All right.
not gonna be on my list. Diablo 3 is up there because Diablo 3 and Borderlands 2 came out in the same year.
Really?
So yeah,
Damn.
they were both 2010. And Diablo 3, if you remember, didn't come out on console until
Like 11 or 12?
it was a couple years later.
Okay.
And I played Diablo 3 on PC when it first came out, and it was just, the auction house, and there was a bunch of missteps that Blizzard made that kind of took it away. Diablo 3 for me didn't get good until they released it on Xbox 360, right at the end there. And they had the fixes that they put into the console game that took them forever to put into the PC version. But yeah, it's, that Borderlands 2 was just the writing, the storytelling, the jokes, any game that can work boner fart in um, in
Boner
an
farts.
in an impactful way, is just great.
Yeah,
So
sure. Boner farts for the win, says Eric.
yep,
All
boner farts
right,
for the
round 2. Ugh. I'm so mixed on my last.
wait. What was Ben's?
Also, Mass
Also
Effect.
Mass Effect.
Oh, also Mass Effect. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
I missed that.
Round 2. I'm a little mixed on my number 2. I'm tied between Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, because that game fucking slaps to this day. I replayed it last year and it's still so fucking good. And Black Flag, because both of those games are super revolutionary, I think, for that series. And I'm gonna go Brotherhood, because Brotherhood did a thing in it that no other game has done since, and I don't know why. And specifically because, like, through the title, its inclusion of the Assassin Brotherhood was so fucking great, and I don't know why that game hasn't returned to that. Like, having a bar of how many times you can use your Brotherhood to come in and fight and, like, take out somebody, or you could just hold the button if it was fully charged and they would launch arrows into an area and knock out the guards nearby, so you could just walk through a sea of bodies. Like, there were so many ways that game let those like mechanics lent to moments I remember in that game, of like being on my last rope, being on against the ropes, and like not knowing how I'm gonna get out of a situation, and then like seeing the bar refill and being like, and then this assassin coming in and killing a guy, and then getting in the fight with me and giving me time to like separate and get some air, and then like, ugh.
You use him to grab a guy that's on top of a building because you can't get to him. And he just runs across, takes the guy out, and just like climbs down the building and runs away. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, what?
I remember running across rooftops and just like honing that mechanic of like running and tapping the bumper and like running and a guy coming around the corner and then getting grabbed and pulled into a fucking closet, and then just keep going and then drop down and jump up and another guy get tackled as I'm climbing up past his dead body. Yeah. And it was so fucking good.
And
it was
the multiplayer.
In the multiplayer, exactly. That's the other part of that game that I think helps it, is that multiplayer was, at least for the first 3 months when we played it like hardcore, it was super good. And we were both in the top 100 for 3 months, and then like Christmas break happened and we played something else and fell off, and then came back and everyone had found the hacks and cheats.
Yeah.
You know, people getting 800-point gun kills, and it was like, that's okay, fun, but.
Not fun.
But seeing Assassin's Creed go from Altair's like really closet-driven, not even closet-driven, because like you didn't have many places you could actually enter, but like a very linear, like, go here, don't jump in the water because for some reason you can't swim, and
You got a lot of metal and leather, you know.
Sure. You have to do all this like intel gathering to make your missions easier that didn't seem to do anything, to opening up with 2, and then taking those elements of opening up with 2 and making it even more open with a story that's still to this day phenomenal, and vocal performances that are phenomenal, and like building a relationship with Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli, and like building up the Brotherhood and holding like ceremonies when people get like accepted into the Brotherhood, and like all that shit was so good. So good. So yeah, Brotherhood is my number 2 for the decade. What'd you say, Ben?
Ben.
I said that was interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Ben, you went second last time, so your turn.
I have 4. Luckily, I've got time to figure it out. I'm going to put Portal 2.
Oh fuck!
As
Solid choice.
I forgot that game was this decade.
Because it met and surpassed all the expectations we wanted out of a sequel. Because the co-op, which nobody asked for, was so fucking spectacular.
It was so good.
And it's how I trained Calamity XT Jane on how to do first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Yep.
She might have fumbled through Halo just to appease us, to play with her son and grandson. But when things weren't shooting at her and she could just figure out a puzzle game, and the way I taught her was that the left stick is your gas pedal, the right stick is your steering wheel. So don't worry about strafing. Just the left stick is for up and down right now.
Yep.
Forward and back. And then she figured it out. And we figured it out with puzzles. We went through the whole game single player and the whole game co-op. And the game is funny and brilliant. And yeah, I don't need to talk about Portal. Everybody knows how important Portal is. But so that's my number 2.
Nice.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Ryan.
Let's see. So, I'm just gonna throw this in here as a series, the Forza series, because I think all the games have just pulled me in until the next game comes out with new things. And
Are you talking about the Forza proper or Horizon or all?
All of them, the
Okay.
whole bundle of joy. Because the game that actually got me, which is my favorite, not of the decade, but my favorite Forza was Forza Motorsports 2, and that came out in 2007. So it's not in this decade, but it's still part of that whole series. Yeah, it's just they've done so much to like draw me into racing. Like I've wanted to play racing games, and I've only played Xbox, and I don't play PlayStation. I'll probably never buy one. And they only had, what was it, Project Gotham Racing?
And
What's the other? I don't remember.
Shit.
Keyboard's too loud.
Well, Project Gotham, and then there was like Need for Speed. Really?
Need for Speed and Midnight Club.
Midnight Club.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any track-based.
Gran Turismo.
That was PlayStation.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you were asking what else Xbox had.
No, I was talking about PlayStation. Like,
that's a super good point about Forza, because I honestly think that Forza dethroned Gran Turismo.
They definitely did.
And like Gran Turismo took like a 5-year hiatus and then came out with Gran Turismo Sport last year, and it was not last year, sorry, 2018. It wasn't great. It wasn't great at all.
Yeah, it's just like the whole customization. It allows you to have a little bit of that Need for Speed. Like lets you do the custom paint jobs. It lets you change the bumpers, but it makes it realistic instead of like, I'm just a 16-year-old and I'm just gonna throw whatever looks cool on my car. You got to pick the right stuff if you want to race correctly. And the motorsports did that great by allowing you to be on race tracks. And then Horizon series came out and made it even better that you can race with your friends on open roads and be hooligans for no particular reason. Like it was, I don't know, I've enjoyed every game that has come out, and I can't say I've had a bad experience on any of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that just to talk about Forza for just a second, I think the other thing they did really well, which Gran Turismo always missed on, was they allowed you, especially in the not the Horizon series, but the actual Forza proper series, it let you, if you weren't that gearhead like you are, Ryan, play the game, right? You didn't have to worry about all the customizations and stuff like that. Like if you really wanted to be successful at Gran Turismo, you had to worry about all that shit. Oh God, there's a lot of left-hand turns here, so I've got to worry about my shock adjustments and how my steering tuning works. In Forza series, if you want to just go drive, you can go do that, and the game will worry about it for you, which I think is a great. Gran
Turismo had like kids. Most notably, Gran Turismo has one kid who played that game so much and then actually got into actual competitions sponsored by Gran Turismo and is now a professional racer,
right?
As part of the Gran Turismo team. Like Gran Turismo was always built on what you do to succeed in this game will actually help you succeed if you were driving a real car.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I was gonna keep rambling.
The thing that I noticed the most about Gran Turismo was that, like, when I played it, I couldn't do anything to the cars. I was just playing with a stock car all the time. It's just like, what's this about? Like, I guess I'm driving a Lamborghini, but like,
Gran Turismo had tons of adjustments ever since Gran Turismo 2 back on.
Yeah, but it wasn't adding new parts, was it?
No, not
so. It was more of just tuning, correct?
It was a lot of internals, less externals.
Yeah, it was a lot of internals, less externals.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was all tuning. It wasn't
gear ratio, wing ratio, camber,
timings, and
right.
shock responsiveness.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a bit like outrageous, but like you can throw a V12 into any car that you want on Forza. I mean, it's pretty obnoxious that you could do that because you really can't do that in real life unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the mock-up work and all that stuff. But I and the fact that they allow you to share abilities that other people can't do. If you are really good at tuning and making cars perform at their peak, you can just put that out there, and anybody can go in. And
Yeah, you can put
download it.
together a tune-up and then just throw it on
Yeah.
the market,
Yeah,
and people can
and
just
the
download
people
it.
that are good at racing can just upload the stuff because a lot of people don't want to learn how to do all the tuning, or like people can be really good at drifting.
Similar with
Like,
bodywork too. Like you can,
download this.
yeah, and like you got bodywork and livery too.
Yeah,
Yep.
paint job stuff.
Is it livery or livery? I've never asked this.
It's a livery.
Delivery.
All right, dope. I said it right the first time.
That's my second pick for the Forza series.
All right, Eric, round 2 pick.
Hellblade.
Okay.
Nice.
100%. I've talked about it at length on this podcast, but because I suffer from a very not psychosis, but a very similar condition. It is that game spoke to me on the gameplay level, the emotional level. It is to play that game, and if you haven't played that game yet, and you have the ability to get the Dolby Atmos app for Xbox. And you can get that aural 7.1 surround sound. Do it, because there were points in time where I was literally looking around, and I look all around all over the place anyway. But in my room, where I was convinced that there was somebody standing behind me, behind the green screen, or there was somebody to my right or somebody to my left, and I would have to look because of the way the sound engineering was in that game, and the story that it told, and the way that it presented it was just awesome. So that's going to be my number 2 for this decade, and I'm super excited to see what Ninja Theory does with the sequel. Hopefully, it has the same gravitas as the first game, and doesn't turn into a God of War action type game
Yeah, that'd be the hope, right?
clone. But we'll see.
Sure. So we're on to round 3, the final round before we go to our honorable mentions. This is my weirdest one, and one that, like, as hard as I tried to not think about it, just couldn't not think about it. And it's for a couple of reasons, and I'll give you the reasons first. One, it is a reimagination of a series that had 4 games before this that completely changed the core mechanics of how the game was played and still held true to the core definition of what it was to play as this character. And 2, it is, I think, a marker of, like, maybe not the downfall, but definitely one of the last tall standing stealth heroes. And so my third pick is Splinter Cell Conviction. Splinter Cell Conviction came out in, like, I looked this up, I think it's 2011. And, like, we already had 4 Splinter Cell games, 4 core games. We had Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, Chaos Theory, and Double Agent. And all 4 of those games played relatively similar. Double Agent started to veer a little bit, but they're all very slow, methodical, tactical stealth games where you're limited in your ability for movement, except in positions where, like, you can take advantage of things built specifically for you. And the games were just slower. Like, you moved around more slowly and more carefully, and there were enemies that were... It just felt completely different. When Splinter Cell Conviction came out, you had a Sam Fisher who had, in Double Agent, spoilers, I guess, been tricked,
You're in safe
forced.
harbor.
It's so super safe. I just wanted to say it for fun. Sam Fisher had been not even tricked. He was undercover in Double Agent and had to kill Lambert, who was, through the first 4 games, like, his best friend and the guy who was running Third Echelon, to stay in a gang and, like, to maintain your cover to help try and find the people who are doing this awful stuff. But also, at the same time this was happening, your daughter was killed, right? And so Splinter Cell Conviction takes over years after that. Sam Fisher's in, like, the middle of fucking nowhere, Italy, doesn't want to be on anyone's radar, and, like, gets a phone call and is right back into the fray. And the whole game is about him finding out that like third echelon was corrupt, and now fourth echelon's a thing. Or sorry, fourth echelon was in Blacklist. Third echelon was corrupt and it's being run by a dude that's no good. And oh, by the way, they faked your daughter's death to get leverage on you. And the guy who orchestrated that's down the street. And like the whole game, Michael Ironside, who is always Sam Fisher to me, just fucking delivers this like super angry performance. And like the game
Is that when he's in Grimm's daughter's office?
But
He delivers that speech.
that is one. Yes, that's not like right in the beginning, but that he gets captured at the end of the first mission, and Grimm like breaks him out of capture, and is like explaining shit, and you can tell he's just fuming. And then she's like, "You have to hit me so that it looks convincing." And before she can finish, he's like, "Wham!" And she's like, "All right, that's good." And then he like punches her again, and she's like, "Okay, you can leave." And he's like, "Don't ever lie about my daughter." It's just but it completely changed the formula for Splinter Cell. And I think it's like the precursor to the John Wick action style, where you'd mark some enemies and figure out the best way to get them all in like a line of sight and range of whatever weapon you're using, and then do a melee takedown to initiate your execute authority, I guess, and then hit a button, and Sam Fisher would just plink, 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 and just drop everybody. And there's nothing more satisfying to like a room of 10 dudes dropping because you like hit the right things in the right order while moving, and then got another melee kill while marking a couple people, and then running it again. It's just so satisfying. And the game introduced interrogations. The previous games you could interrogate people, but it was always holding them with an arm around their throat and a gun to their head and letting them talk.
Metal Gear Solid style.
Yeah, and Sam Fisher was no longer a member of the government in this game, and didn't really have any chains holding him back. And so they introduced contextual interrogation, where you could use the environment around him as a coercion device. And the first time you do it is in a bathroom, and you put the guy's head through a urinal, you slam his head into the mirror, and then crash it through the sink. You can kick him into a bathroom stall, and there's a guy like on the toilet who's like, "I didn't see anything, man, I swear to God." And every single time I replay that game, which I've replayed it once or twice a year since it came out, those moments are so gratifying because they deliver Sam's anger so well. Mm-hmm. And like,
and if you know Caleb, you really learn how much he loves torture and interrogation, and we know how interrogation works. So this just really speaks to all his values.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, it does. So don't fuck with my kid. I have a very unusual set of skills.
I will find you.
I will kill you.
And I will kill you. Oh, Taken. That movie was great. And then they made
two more, and a show.
And a TV show.
They made the second one, and I was like, fool me once. Yeah. They made the third one, and I was like, bro, you're letting them get taken. Like you like hunting people down.
It's like you're just a terrible parent. Like, it's probably good that she married a rich guy.
Oh man,
ended up being the bad guy, but
yeah. Well, I didn't. You're probably talking about Taken 3. I did not watch that movie.
You don't need to.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
I just summed it up for you.
All right, perfect.
All right.
So that's my number 3. Ben's next on the round 3 pick. What's your round 3?
I've been on the show long enough. I've been friends with these guys long enough.
Uh-oh.
That you guys know I want to either give it to Sea of Thieves
or Warframe. I don't know why I didn't predict that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Journey.
Oh, fuck me.
Ooh.
Fuck me.
I'm not comfortable giving a game while I've dedicated a year to it. It's still. I'm gonna stop hitting my table because it does that on the camera. I don't feel comfortable just because it took a year of my life. I don't feel like I'm comfortable giving it a slot as the most important game of the decade or important to me of the decade, just because I've really enjoyed it. But I'm definitely putting in there like the impact the game had on me. In Journey, I play like Caleb about once a year. Um, and every time you play it, it's a little different because you play it like with a fucking random stranger,
Yeah.
and they're still out there playing it. There's a lot of things about that game that are really interesting. One of the things that really jumps out at me is how if you find all these hidden glyphs in the game, your uh, classically red cloak turns white. And the community took upon themselves to turn the white cloaks into guides. So a person would literally stand in a game state and wait for a random person to come along and then, sing at them. You just push the circle button and it's like, oh, noise or whatever. And you lure them to the glyphs in that area.
Yeah,
And,
like an entire mechanic that seems like it would be scripted into the game
yeah.
was just
Nobody-
impromptu, community-driven.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible.
Pretty cool. So I found a lot of the glyphs by someone else helping me. And then, of course, as soon as I got my white cloak, I turned around and did the same thing.
The soundtrack to that game is monumental.
Incredible. It put Genova Chen on the map, even though Flower was amazing.
It put Austin Wintory, the composer, on the map. He does a shit ton of work now.
And he didn't have the score figured out until they did an award show. Do you know that?
No.
He didn't have the final score. No, sorry. He had most of the game figured out. He didn't have the final song for the last level figured out until they did a live show. And the lady he hired, who's an accomplished celloist, I believe, just play the notes without the rest of the symphony. He was conducting this award show, and he hushed the rest of the symphony and let her finish the song as the celloist, which is how the soundtrack to the game ended.
Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That shit's
pretty
emotional. That shit's emotional.
Yeah.
I remember the
Yeah.
end of that game and being in complete shock.
Yep.
And just being like, fuck. This is...
And all you're doing is finding a way to get to the mountain. Like, it's all you're doing is getting to the end, and there's like sequences of like death and rebirth, and the entire situation changes if you do it on your own, versus if like you met somebody and somewhere along the way you split paths, so you never see them again,
Yeah.
or you meet somebody on the mountain at the end.
I was with someone on the mountain at the end, and when you're like trudging through the snow, and your
Yeah.
little sing is getting weaker and weaker, and we
Yeah.
kept doing it back and forth to each other, and I was like, we got this, dude.
And eventually your guy just goes paf in the snow, and then you wake up in this like nirvana, and that's where that song I was talking about comes in, the one he didn't have written until
Sure.
and it's all like euphoric, and you're flying now with no limitation, and
And when you get to your destination, doesn't the mountain pulse energy up that like flies back into the like graveyard you start in, and another cloak gets up?
it's not quite that obvious. I think it's after the credits.
No, okay.
It fades to white, the credits roll, and then you shoot out and you start over.
Yeah.
So
Or someone else gets to start over because you got there, or whatever however you want to translate it.
my memory, it's shite, but I think the first time I played with one person the whole path,
That's awesome.
which is incredible.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really want to give it to Warframe because it's done so much for me for the last year, and then Sea of Thieves and all that stuff. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Journey I think deserves. I don't know if it's my number one, but these aren't hierarchical, but it's definitely.
Yeah. These aren't like ranked by number.
Yeah.
Awesome, dope. Ryan, what is your round 3? Oh, what, Ben?
Thank you for listening.
Yes. Oh, I want to say real quick before you go, Ryan. When I finished my little spiel about Splinter Cell, Ben started a comment and said, "If you know anything about Caleb," and I thought he was going to say something tender. And then he made a fucking joke, and I thought about it for about the first half of you describing Journey, like that motherfucker. All right, Ryan, you're round 3.
Oh, let's see. Do what?
This has to be a thing. I'm not going to interrupt.
It has to be a thing.
I know what it is. It has to be it.
Oh, you think it's gonna be Rocket League?
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Wow.
Oh shit.
So this is a wild card.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Inside.
Wow.
That's awesome. I'm so proud.
Well, that's the first single player game that I dove back into,
Yeah.
even though it was just this last year that
Sure.
I did it. Not even whenever it first came out, but it shows like I can understand more why you guys love the whole single player aspect of it. Like I played a game that literally meant nothing to me, and by the end of it I was like, oh.
Oh, and dude, you
Guys.
shared one of the most profound fucking evaluations of that game.
Yeah, I was like, damn, like that's insane. Like I haven't felt I haven't felt that way about a game ever, and like it showed me that a game will do that to you.
We did
Yeah.
it.
Doesn't mean I'm gonna play single players all the time, but it did get me to play Old Man's Journey and did the same thing.
Nice.
So like,
I think there's a few moments in Inside that are we can blame for that. I think it's that little mermaid girl
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
that just scares the ever living piss out of you.
yeah,
I think it's I don't know. For me, it's the shockwave scene that blows you in little bits.
yeah.
that just had my jaw on the ground, and of course the great crazy fucking Akira ending. But
Yeah.
Yeah, Cronenberg fucking beast rolling around.
And you just wind up on a fucking beach, just chilling.
yeah, and
All
figure
by
out,
yourself.
yeah, translate
All
that
alone.
for yourself, fucker.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, that one took me for a loop that I wasn't expecting, especially me not giving a shit about single player games. So
Man, am I happy you took our advice? That is so great.
yeah. So I super enjoyed that one, and I was gonna say like GTA just because I enjoyed that,
Yeah.
and I mean
That's big.
I mean, it's
freaking massive and continuously fucking
6
putting
years
shit
long.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they just put something out new like
Right.
last week.
it's the single most profitable IP ever created by humankind right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't
Until
expect them to make a
until
new one.
Avatar 2.
Fucking James Cameron's like Avatar 2 will sell more than Avengers. I was like, bro, chill.
Bro, you're misreading culture just
My
in
my
general
wife
right
told
now.
Caleb that she hated Avatar this week. 2 years
Yes.
ago.
Oh, dude, so
Fair enough.
I have a board game. Ben, you do have to come over and play. It's The Office. It's a game based on The Office called Downsizing.
Nice.
Pretty fun. But
Oh,
one of the
Target.
yeah, we got it at Aldi. Weird.
Oh, weird.
One of the challenges was to go around the table and list movies you hated until either someone repeated one or everyone disagreed with you and said that it was good. And then Ryan's wife said Avatar, and everyone at the table went, "The fuck? Like Blue People or M. Night Shyamalan?" And she was like, "Blue People," and we were like, "No, you're wrong. That movie's great." But if she'd said Avatar: The Last Airbender, I would have agreed.
She would have got to keep playing because I wouldn't have piped in. I'm not mad at anybody hating that movie.
But it's not a terrible movie objectively, is it?
That's not a reason to hate something though.
True.
But it was
Like something that
no, you can't.
like something that's crap.
I disliked Rise of Skywalker.
I'm looking at you, Fast and Furious. Nobody likes you.
Wait, those movies aren't good though.
People
The
love it.
first couple.
I think people love Fast and Furious because they're so bad. At least that's where I am at this point.
The first few
When I
were
watched
good,
Hobbs
and
and
then-
Shaw and The Rock fucking pulled a helicopter down with holding a chain with a helicopter and pulled it down, I was like, "Fuck off, bud. That ain't real." But I love this shit.
Captain America
That was
can do it. So.
He's a
That was-
super soldier. The Rock's not.
Yes, he is.
You don't know.
Yes, he is.
fucking Dwayne Johnson, man. Are
You
you
seen his
kidding me?
workout routine?
Yeah, have you seen that guy?
Yeah.
It's true.
All right, Eric.
Remember when Cap killed the guy in Winter Soldier
Uh-huh.
by kicking him into a ship and shattering his spine?
Just murdered that guy.
It's
Yeah.
the opening scene of the movie.
It's the opening salvo.
Shatters his spine and then he falls 7 stories into the ocean.
In all black,
Unable to
just,
swim.
Yeah.
just murders an entire ship.
Yeah, he breaks his sternum by kicking him, and then shatters his spine on the boat. So he's,
Yeah.
he's super fucked.
Not to mention the guy's heads he just caved in by throwing the shield at
Alright,
him because, I
Eric,
mean,
you're muted, bud.
Oh no, I can still hear him.
No, I can hear him.
Oh, really?
okay.
Yeah, talking about caving in skulls with the shield,
Yeah.
which that's also a thing.
So, Even though Ryan can't hear me, I'm going to continue.
I can
Okay, there you go. That was payback for the party the other night where it was the 20-minute delay on your mute. When we were playing Call of Duty, Ryan, and I muted you, and then 20 minutes later, the mute kicked in for some reason. I was like, wait, what the hell happened?
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, my third pick for the last decade is the game that is the meta is literally the Phoenix from the Ashes, Final Fantasy 14.
Sure.
That game launched as a hot mess of garbage of systems and menus and just ridiculousness after they came off of Final Fantasy 11, which was so good. They took the game offline in one of the most epic ways that you could have by giving you everything and having behemoths run through the cities, and then just the game ended. The world literally ended. And then a year later relaunched as the new experience. Same game, just called A Realm Reborn, and to this day is still one of the most popular MMOs on the market. And they're charging a subscription for it, which is something to be said, where you have games like Black Desert Online, which is an amazing MMO. Then you have World of Warcraft still charges a sub, but they have a free-to-play model that gets you like to level 30. And Square and that director has stuck to their guns, and they've continued putting out arguably the best story-based content next to Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah.
That's an absolute dream scenario for a studio, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Just get to rebuild their shit and then just keep building on it.
And then it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
And
worked.
to keep your payment model, so you just get to stay in business.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
keep making content.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I've heard people argue that the quest writers for the MMO need to write the quests for the next actual core Final Fantasy, which is
100%
fucking
agree
bananas
with
to
that.
me because most MMO quests I think of are shallow and dumb.
Nope. This is if you take your time to read the dialogue in Final Fantasy, it's going to take you forever to get through the story because there's a lot of it.
Well, it
but
takes like 120 hours to get to where they currently are with the expansion.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm just never gonna get into that game. It breaks my heart. I'm just never gonna have time to get into that game.
coming out on Xbox.
It is coming out on Xbox. Fuck.
Try.
We're all gonna try.
Wouldn't it be nice to be like Caesar and just never buy a game again? Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, just get into one thing forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For those of you listening, Caesar is a
play
friend of
Ark.
ours.
Arc, it's Arc for
that's
Ryan right
fine.
now. Yeah, no, Caesar's a friend of ours that has sold his soul to Saint 14
Yep.
in Destiny. And if you
Yep.
don't know who Saint 14 is, you don't know Destiny well enough to be his friend.
Yep. Yep. No. He sold his soul to that. But it's fine. I mean, everybody's got their kink, right? So
Not what I thought you were gonna say at all.
Nope.
yep.
Oh
Everybody's
shit!
Gotta have a hobby and a passion.
All right, so recaps. I was Mass Effect 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Splinter Cell Conviction. Ben was also Mass Effect 2.
Mm-hmm.
What was your second?
Portal 2.
Portal 2, and your third was Journey.
Journey. Yep.
Ryan was the Forza series, Inside, and Bad Company 2. And Eric was Borderlands 2, Senua, Hellblade. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. Sorry, I always fuck up that title. And what was your number 3?
Final Fantasy.
Oh,
14.
shit. Yes.
Just said it.
My brain was...
Fair enough.
Off. Yeah.
Peggle.
Okay. What'd you say?
Peggle.
Peggle.
Gotta put it up there.
That's got to be on Luke's list. He plays that game a shit ton. Or used to.
So I compiled a list of honorable mentions.
Honorable, yeah. You want to go through them?
Yeah, and
I've
feel
got a
free
couple
to.
extras.
Did you? Awesome. So for me, Mass Effect 3 is a brilliant finale. I don't care about the 3-choice ending. I did not care. I don't care. That whole however many hours experience that was between 20 and 30, might have even been 15. I don't care.
Oh, I put like 40 into it, yeah.
Yeah, it was the finale.
Yep.
Because
It's
the
great.
game started with Earth being attacked, and
Yeah.
with the war ending.
The whole game is the ending,
the
not the
finale.
last 20 minutes. Yeah, 100%.
Great.
I can't do that with every game. Okay, but I did put Limbo and Inside together.
Sure.
Games were very close together to me. Ryan, you need to play Limbo. It's not as mechanically advanced as Inside, but it's just as moody and weird,
Yeah.
and actually more difficult. They have some gravity puzzles in the end that are very.
I remember the first time I got split in half by a fucking spider,
Yeah,
and I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
just as gruesome.
It's
Uh,
it's a memorable day when that
Yeah.
happens. It will
Um,
haunt you.
Putting
Haunt
the
you.
entire goddamn Batman Arkham series on there.
Yep.
I didn't know you were gonna put that in there.
Yeah. The first game was great, but Jesus, 2 and 3.
Ugh.
Played-
The first.
played-
The first
came out
game
to
is such a
it-
fucking game changer.
It's the first Batman game, as far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
and how
never
many
played
games? How many games start off with a new not a new IP? I get it; it's licensed. But how many studios start with a game, and rather than giving you an open world, which was wildly popular at the time, rather than giving you a strictly linear experience, give you an open environment that's all inside.
That's almost in a
Metroidvania.
Metroidvania. style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a 3D Metroidvania game that
Yep.
really held true to that myth, that not mythos, that ethos.
What's the name of the studio that did Castlevania? Silver something?
No
Anyway,
idea.
the Castlevania reboot, 1 and 2. Something Shadows, whatever.
Oh, Lord of Shadows.
Lord of Shadows. But yes,
Yeah.
Silver something was the studio, but they did that. It was, of course, Metroidvania. It's half the namesake, but
Yeah.
it's open world feel, and you can go
Yeah.
back and forth when you unlock things. But yeah, Arkham 2 and 3 are just. I
Yeah.
Dude, Arkham Knight
Ton of
fucked
hours.
me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched Caleb play those games enough that I didn't need to.
With Joker running around. When Joker showed up in Arkham Knight, when you're in Ace Chemicals trying to save the city because the chemicals are going to fucking explode, and you drop one and he goes, "Did you miss me?" I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Wait, what?
And then he would just fucking show up and scare you. Like you'd zip line to a roof and he'd be like, "Boo!" I'm like, ugh, ugh.
Yeah, it was really well done.
I'm going to mention Assassin's Creed Black Flag personally. Great
Sailing,
game.
man. Sea shanties.
This is a big one. Doom.
Hold on. I literally spent an hour yesterday on my day off listening to sea shanties and singing along to them in my house by myself. Singing like Randy Dandio and Old Maui and all that shit. I fucking love them so much. I have a dream someday in life to be in a bar singing shanties with people like that are all screaming them. That would be, yeah.
That'll do, pig.
That'll
I think
do.
Doom
That'll
deserves
do.
Doom's ridiculously almost perfect reboot. Deserves to be on the real high on the list. God of War's Return to Form
Yep.
deserves to be there. Outer Wilds was quite a.
That's my game of the year.
Inside S experience.
Hands down, game of the year. No doubt.
For me, Fez was pretty groundbreaking.
I never played Fez.
I love Fez a lot. I've played it about 3
That
times.
was cool. Yeah.
It also had a hidden, like, glyph alphabet in the game that the entire like Reddit community had to get together to solve. So there are things hidden in that game that you would never know, even word puzzles, but people figured it out. Pretty cool.
Oh, I agree with your inclusion of the Uncharted series.
Yeah,
Uncharted 4 was also. Have you played 4 yet?
I played them all. I was Jack Be Quick on every time that game comes out. I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, Uncharted 4 was such a wonderful ending to that storyline.
2, 3, and 4 were all deeply magical experiences.
Yeah.
They were so fucking great.
Yeah.
Great acting, good stories, amazing set pieces. As linear as it comes, you might as well be pushing just
Forward and A.
a big button just going.
It was fine because the story was so good.
Yeah, dude. There was a moment in. There's 2 moments that stick out to me in 4 specifically. When you sit down with Elena on the couch and play fucking Crash Bandicoot, Naughty Dog's first game.
Yep.
And you get to when Crash Bandicoot ends and you've immersed yourself in what those graphics look like, and it cuts to what graphics look like now, and you're like, "Oh fuck, this is still a game." That was dope. And then 2, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but in the beginning of the game, idle animations are the things that take place when you leave the controllers still for too long, and the character fiddles around to make them look like they're living. And in the beginning of the game, first half of the game, when you go into idle animations because you're not doing anything, Nate would mess around with his gun. He'd like take his gun out and like rack the slide a little bit, or take out his notebook and and page through it. after Elena finds out he's been lying to her, and she's either with you or that cutscene has happened, the idle animations, they're still mixed in, and you still see the gun in the notebook, but it added him fidgeting with his wedding ring.
Oh wow.
And like, it only happened after like the threat of her leaving him was made a part of it, and like I noticed him like sitting there and like sighing and like looking at his hand and fidgeting with his ring, and I was like,
Ridiculous.
fuck. Ugh. It was so I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god, this is deeper than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said.
We're gonna, if you're looking at the document, this is not important to our listeners, but I do need to mention Minecraft
Yeah.
came out this decade.
It might be the biggest game of the decade.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one too, because I bought that like almost immediately.
You were playing it before it was a widespread, like easily accessible app.
You had to go to the little weird website and
Yep.
scroll down and download it for your
Awesome.
PC or whatever.
And I remember seeing it and being like, that's fun. It
Yeah,
looks
I showed
stupid.
Caleb, I was like, "Hey, you gotta check this game out." He's like, "Okay, it's like 2D and stuff." Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I was like,
All right,
this is
yeah, dude,
stupid.
I'm fucking enjoying the shit out of this. I can build whatever I want.
Yep. We saw the birth of Battle Royale this decade, and all of us have tasted its sweet delights.
From PUBG to Fortnite again to
H1Z1. Well, I guess H1Z1 started it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, H1Z1 was first.
Yeah. And then PUBG, and then Fortnite, and then dozens of clones.
Mm-hmm.
Many that don't have much. Many that are relatively obscure. Darwin Project is still a thing. What's that other one on Xbox? It's a single word.
Oh,
Vigor. Which I downloaded and wanted to play, and it's still sitting on my hard drive and haven't touched.
It's cool. It's worth it. I mean, it's worth a play.
Yeah, Tetris got into the Battle Royale game, guys.
99, yeah.
Forza
Yeah.
got into the Battle Royale game.
They did.
Yeah.
Hockey, NHL got into the Battle Royale game.
My
Did it?
my honorable
Yeah,
mention.
NHL 20 has a Battle Royale mode.
Well, how does that work?
It's single elimination, but you play against 100 different people. And like, so you have to like, it's round robin, and you have to survive 3 rounds, and then everyone who survives 3 rounds has to survive 2 rounds against it. It's a whole thing.
I just want to see 100 people in a hockey rink.
Well, that's not how it plays out, but that would be incredible.
The start of the game is everybody just throwing their gloves off, and then you just
Right.
start boxing.
That's actually a really great idea.
A Street Fighter Battle Royale?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Let's do it. Just a
See,
brawler. UFC Battle Royale.
Whole chain of like rear naked chokes, just all.
A violent human centipede.
Oh,
I knew it was.
that's violent in and of itself. How
Yes,
does
it
it get
is.
more violent? My honorable mention is not a game at all this decade. It is Twitch. I think this service that we stream on, with the exception of Ryan, is been the single most one of the biggest game changers for the way that people consume media over the last decade, and has allowed me to experience a lot of the games that I would have never played. Detroit Become Human, a lot of these things where I've watched the streamers that I enjoy watching play these games and get to see their emotional reactions and then share with them is phenomenal.
Sure.
So I think that's my honorable mention of this decade. Even though it started last decade, it switched to Twitch this decade and then has just continued to grow and is now one of the single most consumed online platforms. Period.
Yeah.
Month after month. Did
sure.
you just fart?
No, I was trying to hold in a yawn. And
Okay.
it squeaked out the side when I had to finally let air in.
You had the lead, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was trying with everything in my body not to just yawn at you while you were talking, and so I
I thought you were like
Amazing.
squeezing some gas. My honorable mention, I've probably got 2. My first is Deus Ex: Human Revolution,
God, that game was good.
because that game was fucking great, and it was the first time I think I had a real moral quandary in a game. Mm-hmm. Because like, I loved playing pacifistically, but I was like, the people that I'm trying to get stuff from deserve to fucking die. They're awful. So fuck it, they're gonna die. And then Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I'll keep those in the same lump. I loved that game as commercially flat as it ended up being. I loved that game. I hope that after Avengers comes out, that Eidos is able to go back to Eidos, and I hope Square, because they've been so profitable with their properties recently. I hope they give Eidos the freedom to go back and fucking make the finale of the Jensen trilogy. There's even
I'd like to see that.
There's even real rumors that Jensen is not alive in Mankind Divided, and you're playing a clone.
Nice.
That I've it's rekindled my interest, because I remember there's a woman in red that was in the first game, the first Mankind and Human Revolution, that interacts with him again in Mankind Divided if you do a couple of things the right way, and she does not talk to you the way she did before, and mentions that you're not right, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those games. Ryan, go ahead and do your honorable mention. I need to think a little bit about the one I want to add for my second.
Okay. I've got two. I'm gonna say League of Legends.
Did that come out this decade?
I believe so. I'll do that.
half the hosts just moved to their keyboards. Anyway, sorry. Go on. League of Legends and what else?
Initial release date 2009.
October, so
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Yeah, so
Gavel that squeaks when you bang it.
Really? That's it.
judge's ruling. Yes.
So yeah, League of Legends. I've always gone back to that game, regardless of how I feel about it at that given point in time. It's something I can just be like, I don't want to play anything on Xbox, and I just boot it up, and it's something that never goes away, like jumping on Halo again. I just,
Nice.
you know, the
Sure.
controls, you just do it, and whatever. And then the second one, I just had it and lost it again. Oh, The Division.
Yeah.
I'd say The Division.
All
I
right.
enjoyed that a lot. I mean, we played the shitload of the Division 1. We played it so much that we got bored with it so
Oh,
fast.
fuck.
Because it was so good.
Yeah.
And then they added a bunch more shit.
They added a bunch of shit after we burnt out. Yeah, I was always upset about that.
And the shit that they added was good too. Like you guys missed out on the survival mode.
The
No,
raids.
I played that survival mode.
You did play the
That
survival
shit
mode, I
was
couldn't
fucking
remember.
incredible. Speaking
Yeah.
of battle royales that did it right, that
Yep,
survival
that
mode's
was
insane.
Awesome.
Oh my god, it was so
So
good.
good.
Because that was the only battle royale that exists so far, as far as I'm aware. I mean, maybe H1N1, H1N1. That also happened this decade. H1Z1, and maybe H1Z1 is an exception, but it's the only battle royale I can remember so far that really had a heavy emphasis on you just fucking surviving.
Yep.
Like you were actively fighting the elements and like trying to just scrounge shit up in the world that was always so full of like NPCs running around, both enemy and non-combatant, was so fucking dead quiet.
It was
You'd get inside to get warm and it would just be dead silence. It felt like The Road and Last of Us mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Last of Us, fuck, that's a yep.
Yep.
I started that game again last week or a couple weeks ago. It was actually around Black Friday because I updated my PS4 and got it for free again. I started that game thinking, you know what, maybe I'll play through it again because the next one's coming out, and got to the point where his daughter died, and fucking bawled and was like, nope, I can't play this game. I can't do it. Like,
That's not emotional again for another like 15 hours after that.
yeah. So like, I'll go back to it and but that initial moment was like, I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna kiss my kid before I go to bed because fuck, man.
Yeah.
Whew.
That definitely needs to be on the list. I had a few questions at the bottom. Do you guys
Oh yeah, I want to give my other honorable mention because I don't know what I think it might even move Assassin's Creed a little bit for me and make it an honorable mention. Fucking XCOM coming back this decade.
I mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, because fuck, XCOM 1 and 2 and the Enemy Within expansion for XCOM 1 and the War of the Chosen expansion for XCOM 2. Most games that give you expansions, it's just extra missions and some more stuff to do. But the Team at Firaxis and Yeah, sorry, Mom. It's happening. The team at Firaxis has this incredible talent with making a DLC that doesn't just add on to the campaign, but it fundamentally changes how the campaign works. So Enemy Within, like, added another faction that was on the side of the aliens that were invading, and you had to and they invade your base and attack it at one point, and you lose a bunch of people because they were sleeper agents and shit. And then War of the Chosen introduces another alien faction that are bounty hunters that are employed by the invading aliens, who are the occupying aliens. And the game changes from you trying to manage a timer to some doomsday device they're making and your efforts to adding random occurring attacks from these beings that command forces that are stronger and far more different than anything you've faced. And to this day, I've had memories in XCOM that I won't forget, like losing soldiers near the end of the campaign and not loading a save and being like, we won because of your sacrifice.
That defined the end of XCOM 1 for me, for sure.
What defined XCOM 2 for me was losing. So I created all my characters based on my friends. So Ryan, Ben, Eric, Kyle, and then my wife. Christopher and Kyle, and then my wife. All characters in the game. And I lost Kyle. So you had to exfil from missions. They didn't just end sometimes. You had to leave. And I didn't get them back in time. And I thought that, they're all dead, so the timer will extend or whatever. Or it'll just, scoop up whoever's there. No. It left him. And I was like, fuck. But, I decided I'd roll with it. And then 4 or 5 hours later, I had a mission to extract a high-value target that was... In XCOM 1, there were always defectors or people that were trying to escape from a zone. When this one, I broke into a facility, kicked open a door, and fucking Kyle was on the other side of it. And I was like, oh my God, you're okay. And brought him back and then immediately reintegrated him into the troops. So every time he would snipe a target, I thought, the best part about XCOM for me is you make up the story for these characters because they don't exist. And so every time he would snipe a character after that, I saw this character remembering what they did to him and just being like, fucking my sword is my shield. Bam. Yeah. Yeah, game's fucking great. I love those games so much. Ben, you have time for one question, and then we gotta wrap it and tap it.
Okay, I could make this one question.
All right.
Caleb, one of my answers in here, I think I'm surprised you didn't mention, but I suspect why you might not. And that's a lot of build-up. Anyway, so this goes for everybody. What is your biggest regret or game that you didn't play or that you tried and couldn't? Does that make sense? So,
you just want me to talk about Warframe more?
I was going to prompt you to talk about Skyrim, but...
Oh, yes. No, yeah. I can talk about Skyrim.
That's honorable mention. Dark Souls, can't get into them too hard. I'm too old and I want games that are easy now. But as big as Skyrim is, I just couldn't get into it. And I know it's been out on 12 different platforms, so they've tried. I just can't do it.
Skyrim's on Alexa now.
Yeah, right. I know, it's ridiculous. I didn't know that, but that's ridiculous. So, what's a game you didn't get to that you regret, or that you did try, but you just couldn't get into it? And you might regret that too. Something you're like, damn, I wish I could get into. Skyrim is such a huge place in people's hearts and minds, and I just didn't.
I'm gonna go first because Melissa sent me a text. She needs something real quick.
Gotcha.
Near Automata.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sure. Tried or didn't get a chance to.
Didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones I always look at, and
it's cool.
And I'm like, it's on sale. I'm gonna pick it up. And then I'm just like, nah, I don't want to spend money.
Don't, because it's going to just get put the bottom of your backlog.
Exactly.
List, right?
And then I'm like, it's just going to be another one of this ever-growing number of 300 games in my Xbox library that I look at ready to download every now and then. I'm like, fuck, I never finished this one. Fuck, I never finised this one. And fuck, I never finished. If it ever came to Game Pass, 100%.
Sure.
But no, we never mentioned, we didn't do an innovation or thing like that, but Game Pass should be mentioned at some point here.
Yeah,
anyway,
sure.
I got to... Let me go.
Yeah.
Be right back.
I almost tried Nier, and then I found out that when you beat the campaign in Nier, you have to sacrifice your save so that you can't go back to it and start over with a different character, because you can play through the game with different characters that unlock after playthroughs.
Oh wow!
And I was like, I'm not playing a game 4 times to get the full story.
Yeah,
Ryan, anything you couldn't get to, or that you wanted to, or that you bounced off of, other than Battlefield 5?
No, because I usually don't buy games that I probably wouldn't play.
Ryan,
What is that
what
one
did you
that
what
you-
did you buy in October of last year that you played for like 2 hours and then never went back to?
Red Dead?
There you go.
Yeah, but
Why didn't you get into Red Dead?
I don't think that applies
Why not?
to the question at hand.
Well, part of the
because
question is, what did you try but couldn't get into?
I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything that you didn't buy that you do want to try? Okay, so yeah, Red Dead's probably your best.
Play and then
Yeah, sure. So Red Dead's probably the closest you've got to.
probably,
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say Red Dead 2, just because I feel like I was amped up because of Red Dead 1, and then
Oh, man.
all the things that you guys saw as glorious in that game, I was like, I just want to get it done.
Yeah.
I would love to do this co-op. That would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Like I would like to have do the whole story with my friends and let's rob this train together and
Sure.
we each play a part, but
Yeah, Zing mentioned
have-
Witcher. Witcher's on my list. I got really far into Witcher 3, then my save got destroyed,
Oh,
so I had to start over. And I really want to get through that game. Every time I see a screenshot, I'm like, man, I would love to just finish this game. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Witcher's in the list of what I want to get to, and Doom
More
2016.
people are playing that now than when it was released.
Yeah, because the show.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. There's a bunch more money for Cyberpunk to get made.
Yeah, fuck it, sure, why not?
So that's in my wish I could get to it, and Doom is in my wish I hadn't bounced off it.
No kidding.
I
Yeah.
played Doom for about 5 hours, and for some reason it just did not stick with me. It just felt too not hectic. That's not. It felt too frenetic. Like it felt too like I was too fast. I was not used to the Doom. I strafe as fast as I walk.
Yeah.
And it just, for some reason, it just did not click with me, and I want to go back to it, and I will play Doom Eternal to see if I can get into it again.
That looks like worse because now you can fly and you have a grappling cannon and
Yeah, but adding flying even allows me to change my mode of transportation so that I can jump into a looping, and then that slows me down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. But Doom's also on Game Pass, so I have no reason not to jump back into it at any time and try and give it another shot. Yeah, I was so mad that I bounced off the game. I was like, man, this game is fucking brilliant and brutal and awesome, but it just did not. I just ricocheted away from it. Eric, did you have? Oh no, you already said Near Automata. What is that? Pine Eagle, Fire Eagle.
Fire Eagle.
All right, Pine Eagle looks similar. That's just a play on Pine Needle. Do we have a Smurf? Do we have a Smurf fact this week?
Austin Beer Works.
Austin Beerwerks. Yeah. Do we have a?
He didn't send me anything, so if somebody looks something up.
Ben, find us a fact. Or Ben and Ryan are finding us facts. While they are finding us facts, I will.
oh God, I've got one.
There it is.
All right, hold on. Let me play them. Let me play the bit. As everybody knows, at the end of the show, we do a fun little fact reading session, and we call Smurf Facts. So I'm going to play some music for you for our intro. Smurf Facts, oh yeah. All right, it played finally. It took a second, but it played. You guys no longer get to pick on me for it because I did bind it to a key on my fucking Stream Deck, and you can't hear it.
We can't hear it.
Yeah. Eric's so disappointed. Hold on, I gotta make Eric happy because he's gonna have.
That's fine. I'm good. You guys, we're potentially playing Borderlands after this, so I'm.
Eric's already happy. He's like, "Fuck it, we're good."
I'd rather play that than Call of Duty. That's for sure.
Chef's kiss. I'm good. I'm good.
During the early stages of development,
Hold on, is this gross?
Batman: Arkham Asylum was prototyped as a rhythmic action game. The second prototype focused on 2D fighting, which would pop up whenever enemies were engaged and involved colored circles bashing into each other. Both of these failed attempts fueled the basis of the final combat system.
I would argue that the final combat system is very rhythmic.
Dude, the final combat system is revolutionary, though. And can you imagine if it looked like fucking DDR or Guitar Hero?
Yeah, no, I mean, but once you get like, even like I went. Sai wanted to play it, so I downloaded it for him on the Xbox in the living room, and I was watching him just figure out the button taps and the pacing, like as you hit X, X, Y. Oh, wait a minute! Now I can hit X, Y, or now I can hit A, B, and now I can just, and it was just magical to watch. Yeah, to watch this 5-year-old kid figure out the boom, 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 2 buttons, boom, boom, boom. Oh, 1 button, boom, 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 2 buttons, boom. I was just like, oh my god, it's so good.
Man, I loved when like Arkham City and Arkham Knight came along, and you had like multi counters where 2 or 3 people come after you, and he would like put, and then like swing into attacks against. Ugh, god.
And then it was like, or it's yellow lightning bolts versus a red lightning bolt, or when you get to what's the hardest mode where the lightning bolts just go away and you have to just
game plus. There's no,
and you have to read the enemy movements. Oh
yeah. And then Arkham Knight added some of his companions. So you'd have fights with Robin in the room.
Yeah, they
would with Nightwing in the room, and you'd switch back and forth between them. Ugh.
So good.
I want a co-op version of that game so bad.
Ah, it's so good.
Just give me Azrael and Batman together. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Also, the ending of Arkham Knight, man. When fucking Scarecrow stabs him and then he doesn't react, and he's like, "I'm not afraid anymore." And Scarecrow's like, "What?" And then, and he turns into the fucking evil Batman. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go. He locks Joker up. He locks Joker up in a prison in his mind. I don't need you anymore.
Pretty awesome.
It's so good.
All right, guys.
All right. So the 2010s are over. We will never talk about them again. That's not true. But we've got a big fucking year this year. Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima and the release of the new consoles, including a new Halo, and who the fuck knows what is.
Did you skip Cyberpunk?
And Cyberpunk and Watch Dogs Legion and Doom Eternal and.
Yeah, Cyberpunk comes out 2 days after my birthday.
I don't think I'm gonna play any of those games you just mentioned.
Yo,
Except for Halo.
I will say,
He's not wrong.
I will say the first Ninja Theory game that's coming out this year.
Bleeding Edge.
You said it, not me.
Oh shit! I shouldn't have said anything. Yep.
No, you're fine.
Yep.
Because I participated in something. That game's gonna be cool. I think that game is gonna be. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that game.
I can neither confirm nor deny what he's saying.
It's gonna be.
And I won't confirm it either, but I look forward to playing it on March 20th.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever we could be talking about. Yeah, remember a couple years ago when people were afraid single player was dead? And we've got Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, fucking Cyberpunk, another Hellblade.
What's the other Tokyo? What's the other Tokyo Ghost game?
Oh, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo, yeah, that game.
The game that Akumi Nakamura was a part of that she left. You see, Akumi Nakamura ended up at fucking Ubisoft.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And she was making a ninja game before.
Uh-oh.
Oh god! If Ubisoft announces a Japanese Assassin's Creed, I will probably literally shit my pants in that moment.
Back into the franchise.
We're gonna be at the E3 party this summer. We're gonna be at E3 this summer, motherfuckers. We're gonna be at E3 this summer. But if we're at, that's so much worse. We're gonna be at E3. They're gonna announce it, and I'm gonna poop in the arena.
I would rather be at your E3 party at your house when I'm uncontrollably shitting.
Yes, much rather. But I'd rather be at E3. Period.
In Los Angeles.
Yes. Although
I don't know.
making a
lot of attention.
Making a Microsoft in my pants in the Microsoft Theater.
Okay, wrap it up. Fucking, we're done.
Wadsworth, get him out of here.
Wadsworth. That's a son of a bitch.
All right, what'd you say, Ben?
Maybe a major soft. and a micro hard. Am I right, guys?
Yes, bring it home. Bring it home. If you
Welcome to 2020.
Welcome to 2020. Bounty board is still on its shit, and it will always be. If you want to listen to the podcast, we throw everything up on Fridays. We also throw a video onto our YouTube channel on Fridays. If you want to know where to watch, or how to watch, or where to listen to all these things, you can head to nerdybits.com. All of our stuff is there. Links to all of our people are there. Links to all of our media is there. If you want to follow me personally, I'm at Lubwub everywhere it's important. Xbox, PlayStation, Instagram, and Twitter. Eric, where can people find you, my friend?
Hybrid glass everywhere. It matters. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be on next week. If not, it means we had a third baby. And then I'll be disappearing for just a little bit there.
That's all right. That's all right.
No, it's definitely one. It's only one. Melissa does not.
Hiding.
No, Melissa does not have the body.
Surprise.
Melissa's only Melissa is 5'3", and
We
she
had
has.
two, and one of them ate the other one.
I mean,
Oh, so Dwight Schrute's in there.
yeah, Dwight's in there. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
it's
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Good luck. All of the things. All of the well wishes.
so yeah,
Yes.
All the platitudes.
super scary.
All the platitudes. Ryan, where can people find you, my dude?
Sergeant Sodium everywhere and on Mixer.
And on Mixer, the trader. And Ben.
No,
where can-
no, none
I'm
of that.
kidding. You were supposed to be the chosen one.
I'm talking about Kylo Ren's traitor. That was traitor whenever he fights Finn and
No, that was a stormtrooper. But
no, he says it too.
does he say it too?
And then when they're fighting in the snow,
All right.
big doofus.
I really wish that.
Oh,
So your Star Wars.
I really wish that Finn had gotten a lightsaber and been more of a central character in Rise of Skywalker with Force stuff, but that's fine.
Sawyer on YouTube.
There it is.
Sawyer on Twitter. Sketch Sawyer on Instagram. Sketch Sawyer on TikTok. SketchSawyer.com. Sketch Sawyer on Facebook. Sketch Sawyer on Xbox.
That's next spot.
That TikTok something special, man. I need to start making more videos.
I need to start making videos, so I stop watching them because I will spend an hour.
Yep.
I don't.
I'll just be like,
Ben-
"That's funny."
Ben
For-
saw the one produced by Ben saw the one produced by my eldest. Yeah, the celery one where I'm
figured.
cutting it, that was all Ella, every bit of it.
That's
TikTok,
awesome.
TikTok's is Vine 2.0.
Yeah, it's fine 2.0 with
And I love it.
karaoke.
I love
And
it.
everybody likes to make fun of it because kids
And
are
I
on it.
won't.
But guess what? Kids adopt every piece of technology first.
Yeah, of course they
It
do.
was on Facebook because it was full of kids. Nobody was on Vine because it was full of kids. It was on Instagram because it was full of kids. So that's a dumb complaint. Just get on it. It's full of genius shit. It's full of dumb shit too. But
It's got a lot of dumb shit and a lot of boobs, but also a lot of really funny and smart shit, which is why you should go there.
like me.
Like sexy boobs or like Three Stooges boobs.
Both.
Yeah.
Ah,
And you could mishear me and think I said babes. Sure.
Okay.
all right, wrap it up. See you guys in a minute.
No, yeah, we're gonna be live here in a minute with something. We're gonna, of course, get our refreshments and use restrooms and do all the things we need to do. I think we're gonna come back with Borderlands.
I'm down for that.
All right,
I have a fucking hole in my shirt.
and Ryan's gonna be playing Ark. Yeah, you do have a hole in your shirt. I was gonna tell you off stream, but you found it here. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you were here to watch, and if you want to stay tuned, stay tuned. If not, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll have another topic for y'all. Peace. I love that, like, there's always a little bit of audio after the music stops, so people can hear us be fucking dumb.